In the wizarding world, the magic of a wand is in its core. Well, in the art world, it's the same thing. The magic of a pencil is in its core. In today's video, I'm going to talk about these two different pencils, both made by the same manufacturer, but I'm going to talk about the differences between them, and in particular, why this one has a magical core. Welcome, fellow artists, to another drawing video. Today I want to talk about the difference between these two pencils. First of all, the similarities, you can see they're made by the same manufacturer. This is Staedtler, an amazing company, I believe out of Germany. These are both Mars Lumograph brand pencils. This is their premium drawing pencil. The difference, of course, is this word here, black. This is the classic Staedtler blue pencil, no eraser. I've been using this pencil for about, I don't know, as long as I can remember, maybe 30 years or so. When I graduated from that old yellow number 2 pencil and first started getting into drawing, the Staedtler Mars Lumograph was my go-to and still is in many ways. But just recently on a trip to Vancouver, I stumbled upon the Mars Black Staedtler, and I think this has been out for a couple of years now. I hadn't seen it until just a very short time ago. The Mars Black, I want to talk about the differences between the two. You'll see, of course, these are both HB. So very, very generally, and then we'll get into the differences. This is what I bought, the Mars Black set of 6. I checked the website and it turns out that these are all 6. They don't make any other hardness or softness of the pencil. So it's the HB, which is a middle hardness, the 2, 4, 6, 7, and 8. And these are the only ones that come in this range of Mars Black. So this is these are all of the different kinds of black pencils you can get. Whereas with the blue, they have quite a full range. In this set alone, you have from the 6H. Remember, the 6 is harder. The H pencils are hard, and the B pencils are soft. So soft pencils are, just as a recap, soft pencils have more graphite, less clay, and so they leave a darker mark that also smudges more easily and blends more easily. The hard pencils have less graphite in them and more clay, which gives them a lighter appearance, also makes them harder to smudge, which means more precision and control. Also, of course, when you look at the tips, you'll see that in hard pencils, let me just grab a harder one here. In hard pencils, let's say like the 4H, the tip can be sharpened to a fine point, whereas softer pencils, it's much harder to sharpen to a very fine point because they break more easily. With the blue set, you can go from softness all the way up to a 12B, at least in Staedtler you can. Other brands might be different, but there's a 24 pencil range. You can go from 12B all the way to 10H. I think in the middle you have something called an F, which is kind of a half step between the HB and the H. That's beside the point. Let's talk about now the differences between this HB and the black HB. So what's important to note here is that the black, even though it's darker, it's the same level of softness. So this one isn't darker because it's a softer pencil. What you need to know is that the lead of the pencil is made up of 3 things. You have the graphite, the binder, and then some fillers. The binder in the case of pencils is clay. And the fillers, you don't really need to worry too much about them. They're different for different pencil companies, but they can be wax or other kind of lubricants. They just add to the smoothness, and they vary from pencil manufacturer to pencil manufacturer. But the important things here are it's the graphite and the clay. And it's the proportion of the graphite to clay that gives you the pencil's softness. Soft pencils have more graphite and less clay, and hard pencils have less graphite and more clay. So that's how you can get lighter and darker pencils within a brand. But with the black, there's something else going on here. And I had to do a little bit of digging around. That's a very light application. We can go all the way to this color with the HP as HB. And if I choose quite a soft one, we can get really quite far toward black. You see it smudging. The difference with the Staedtler Lumograph Black is that we're not using graphite. At least I couldn't find conclusively that there's any graphite in here. It appears that it's carbon-based. Now, what you might be thinking if you looked into this is that graphite is carbon. So what's the difference? Well, yes, you're right. Graphite is a carbon-based compound. And it's a form of carbon that appears or occurs naturally. So it's a mineral, it's a carbon-based mineral, and it's structured internally, kind of microscopically structured in a certain way that we then call it graphite, as opposed to the basic carbon, or diamonds, I guess, are another form of carbon. The carbon used in the Mars Lumograph Black would be more similar to a charcoal carbon. So the short answer is this is carbon plus clay and other fillers. This one is, oh, sorry, I said that wrong. The short answer is this is graphite plus clay and other fillers. And this one is carbon plus clay and other fillers, as far as I could tell. Now, I haven't been in communication with Staedtler, but just researching on the internet and looking at other things, that's what I was able to find out, that they're calling this a carbon-based pencil, whereas they're calling this one a graphite-based pencil. Now, why then doesn't this draw like a charcoal pencil? This is a pure charcoal pencil, and I'm sure you're familiar with these. These go over very, very dark, but look at all that powder. And they smudge very easily. It's kind of like drawing with mascara or something like that. They're really messy, they smudge, they blend. They're great for some applications, but if you want precision and you want to make a clean drawing, absolutely terrible. So that's pure charcoal. One way to think about the Mars Lumograph Black is that it's somewhere between a graphite pencil and a charcoal pencil. So I think it's probably to do with how much clay is with that charcoal or carbon. And I would imagine a lot, because the HB is the softest they can go, but it doesn't smudge as much as charcoal. Smudge is about the same as the graphite. What I really like about them in particular is that you have that full tonal range. That means the blacks are more black. When you're doing drawings, you really want to go all the way to black. Also, look at how matte versus glossy. If you don't know these words as they relate to drawings, they're really important. A matte pencil means that it's dull. It doesn't shine in the light. And I don't know if the lighting is being picked up here, but graphite is much more glossy, and it's not matte, whereas the Mars Lumograph Black is more matte. It's less glossy, and charcoal, of course, is very matte. So that makes a difference, because graphite is shiny or glossy. If you don't want a shiny pencil drawing, then you probably want to stay away from graphite. So overall, I think this does everything that a graphite pencil can do, with the added benefit of being more matte and giving you a better tonal range. I highly recommend this new Mars Lumograph Black. It's going to be my new favorite pencil moving forward. I do have I'm not sponsored by Staedtler, but I do have an Amazon store, so I'll put a link in the description to this set if you'd like to pick one up for yourself. And yeah, I would receive a compensation for that from that Amazon store. So full disclosure there, if you'd like to try those yourself, it is going to be my new favorite pencil. So there it is. That's the difference between the black and the blue, and that's why that's my new favorite pencil. See you in the next one.